the clock, 10,000 hours go by. I keep putting in work, the tears are filling my eyes. I swear I've never been tested like this, but this is mine. It's not a matter of chance, just a matter of time. Never look back. If something standing in my way, I always push back. If something seemed impossible, I never took that. Nah, cause now I know better. Can't stop, won't stop, I won't quit ever. As far as won't take me, the highest fall it won't break me. The blood and sweat is what made me, made me.
I'ma get mine, just a matter of time.
Welcome back everyone to the LCK. My name is Joe and here's Dangun and Pito, and I'm gonna help you guys with the translations to see at the last match and see how they covered game one, how they saw it, and really saw how MVP looking like they were gonna win through, and KT somehow picked up the victory in that game one. And to a lot of confusion, a lot of people would have thought that if you watched most of that game, that MVP would have easily picked up that game one victory. But in the end, the huge team play kind of rolled in by the end of the game. Of course, we're gonna have some couple of highlights to look at. Let's look at some of the highlights here. And KT really falling hard to the Zac multiple times here, and saw the E coming from the Ashe and from Deft, and you thought that Deft was pretty secure in terms of vision and knowing where the jungler was going to be, and it felt as if Deft and Mano very careful. You can see that, and even score on the cover just to make sure if anything surprising does come through, they will be ready to come back in time. And here it is, and going pretty aggressively towards Max, but they did not see the Zac from the right side, and this is Mata just getting struck quite heavily, and you saw Ian coming in as well, and this is a heavy fall that we thought that KT was ahead right before all this happened, but all of this really went through to the fact that MVP got themselves on a very good run right after that little team fight. So Zac hitting himself concealed, did very well to grab the advantage for MVP. We know the story doesn't end there though, because we know how KT have really closed it out with a good team fight at the end. And we actually thought that that would have been a clinching point for MVP. Little did we know that something would have happened right on this end phase here. You saw Zac once again going pretty aggressively, understandably being so far ahead. Now you see the arrow coming in from Deft, and now starting to put on this counter fight here, and Smeb coming in pretty strong. EQ just trying to make sure to go for the ultimate, this time getting onto the Tahm Kench, and we see the three members from behind that wall going pretty strong just to kill off the Tahm Kench. And very, very close, as you can see, Max almost going up, but it's gonna go down eventually to Smeb. But you saw all these very dispersed damage all the way through, and that was a big one right here from Yukal coming in for the ultimate from the Azir, and that became the clinching blow, as really no way back for Zoe other than the ultimate going back and forth to eventual death. Meant that MVP, although they literally had that game in their hands, it just didn't lead to an MVP victory in that game one, and unfortunately it does give some hopes over to KT, and we are in this situation that anything could happen. And let's look at what the fans had to say. And now we talk about Smeb the fourth is going to be mentioned by some of the fans here, and with a Yukal toss in that ultimate, putting a lot of emphasis on as to literally turning the game all the way around. And really, lots of excitement coming in from the fans means that something very well could happen. And we're going to hear from Bitdol to see what his summary of that game 1 is going to be. And really counting on chances. We don't see anything in truth, but when we talk about 경우의 수, which means chances for something to happen, but 경우의 수, which is chances of Smith doing something incredible, he did that, and he gave KT the Game 1 victory. Game 2 is going to be on the way, guys, and it every well could happen that they might end up first place, but I'm getting very excited, meaning that they are going to win Game 2, and I'm hoping on that. Sending it back to you guys.
Oh, you fool.
KT Joel. He actually is a KT fan.
Yeah. Like Monty before him. Put his faith in, but try not to fall for the razor cake ploy here, Joel. We'll see what happens. We'll see if you get a nice cake, buttermilk icing, or if you get the razors. But 4-0-6, it's going to be Smeb winning the MVP here for the game. The points don't matter because Khan has already won it, but 100% kill participation still looks damn good on the augmented reality.
And you know what? Could definitely have gone to UCAL as well, who had a big game here. We're seeing the teleport that got KT an advantage around the lane that had been ruined against him. All of the sustain onto the Camille was undone, and then ADD undid his own life with a poor overstay. But then MVP, you know, you're listening to Bitdol and Dangon talk about it. This was really in their hands, and of course, if it's in your hands and you no longer have it, was a bit of a throw in this game from MVP. KT with the outplays, so you always want to be glass half full. They did play out the team fights way better than most any other team would. Watching some of the replays here, though, it felt like MVP was controlling the pace until they clearly were not.
Yeah, just kind of dropped the ball right when they were about to dunk it. But it was competitive, and that gives MVP hope for still shutting down KT here in Game 2 as we get ready to go to that. UCAL just sticking around, just fearless with the Azir. I like how we weave that into Smeb's MVP highlight reel.
KT looking to be the Kings of Summer again. KT Rolster have made the final of every single summer they've been eligible for except for last year when it was SKT versus Longzhu. They will guarantee a spot in the final with one more victory. This was the team fight that guaranteed them that lead. UCAL and Smeb combining with devastating effect onto MVP. That's what happens when the enemy team has so many sick players go down.
Well, MVP, they can still keep their heads high. Still a chance.
They were way better
to
in
get
game
the
one you
victories.
could have expected.
Yeah, I mean, they still can pick up the next 2 games and keep themselves out of that promotion tournament. Would knock Jin Air down alongside BBQ. They would retain their spot in the LCK moving forward. And potentially, you know, knock KT down to, I believe, 3rd place if this was a 1-2 loss for them.
Maybe you should tell ADD. Didn't seem to be on that same wave, and the glass didn't seem to be half full on the side of MVP.
As a wise old player once said, up until they lose, they're winning. That was the thing here for MVP. They just need to get over that finish line this time around. Question is, can they maintain that same level of play and exceed it very slightly? Because that's all they really need to do.
We
in
need
order
to
to get a match win.
into pick ban Achilleos, potentially the final game of the regular season.
Could be.
KT versus MVP. KT fans will certainly be hoping so. At 8:14 still, if you're joining us late. KT first ban on the blue side is the Zoe, and a lot of people around the world rejoice. No Zoe this time. If you're wondering why KT are blue side banning the Zoe, UCAL Zoe is probably the only kind of black mark in his champion pool. He's 3-4 on the Zoe. From the games, he hasn't really had any dominant performances like we've seen from other mid laners, so they don't want to deal with that. And in fact, KT say, we don't know about all these support bans, let's ban mid laners instead.
Yep, gonna be the Zoe, now the Rise. Talia, of course, from MVP. Just getting rid of the standards. Let's see what the follow-up 3rd ban is gonna be from MVP. Do they try to just go ahead and clip the wings of the Azir, take him down?
Huh.
And Trundle, okay. So KT, no interest in playing a Trundle.
They really, really want to play Tahm Kench, it looks like. That is what Mada plays. Gave the famous interview where he says, my teammates throw too much, so I play Tahm Kench. Very Mada-esque response from the MVP of Worlds 2014.
That makes sense. You know, the Thresh is also somebody that you can bail people out with.
If they played Thresh Callista, I couldn't be any happier.
Oh, okay. Well, Tahm Kench is off the board. Now where does your first pick go?
Azir is
Yep.
available, and
And
Yukal
it's taken.
says, I win a lot on this champion, and he would be correct. So they will first pick it. The Vel'Koz is something that Ian has played before and is seen as a good answer into the Azir. Don't know if you have to take it now, but you would probably have to take it by Ian's pick. Otherwise, some mid lane bans will come in. The Ryze is the other common pick into it. The Zoe, both of those are banned. Actually seeing Max bark instructions to his teammates. They will be going for the first pick Gragas here. Want to take that one away from Score. Could be a support Gragas as well.
Could be. Big, longtime favorite of Yondu, so a big pick for him. But we'll see where that one's going to end up. We already saw it at the top lane in our first series for the side of King Zone. So
A lot is
triple
open.
flex.
A lot is open here. Tahm Kench obviously taken away, but could look into something in the bot lane. All of the marksmen available, and we will see a marksman. It'll be Varus.
We saw the hover on this in game 1.
What about Xayah Rakan, which is open?
You know,
You almost never see Xayah Rakan open.
it has made it through. It's
Sort of thing where
usually one
MVP
ban
might
away.
not even notice it because the blue side bans didn't include Rakan.
Yeah, they banned it themselves on the blue side. Now they're over the red. They get shoehorned in. They don't want the Tahm Kench. Maybe you should just take it.
Now, Lethality Varus does well into Xayah Rakan, but seems like teams are just taking the Ashe whenever it's available. Deft may not be prey when it comes to the sniper arrows, but plays team fights very well on the Ashe.
The love is dead.
Sadly true. And Morgana will be
Morgana.
taken. I thought maybe Braum would
Oh.
come out here as an answer to the Varus and the Gragas. Morgana can do it as well, but they want more lane power. Wonder if KT's going full squishy win lane, win game. When you see these first 3 picks, it might be true.
Okay, MVP. See Max talking to his squad, trying to figure out what the best draft choice would be at this stage, and it might just be the Vel'Koz. It seems like that's going to be the lock-in for Ian.
You needed it to take it there. I think the 2 bans would have probably been, if I'm thinking about it, if no mid laner, if I'm KT, I ban Vel'Koz and I ban Yasuo just because the Gragas is there for synergy. Yasuo versus Azir, not a fantastic matchup
Yeah.
by any means, but I think those were the 2 you would probably ban away. Ian, not the best Yasuo player, but Yukal is one of the best. The Jace going to be taken away, trying to take away as many blind pick top laners for Smeb as they can.
Get rid of the 1. And I believe it was Gnar Jace for them in game 1.
Smeb's always got more picks, so you can
Yeah.
never fully...
I mean, he just pulled out a J4 again,
Yeah.
so...
They thought that they were safe to pick out Camille and have lane pressure on everyone. Nope, we got Resolve with J4, winning by 75 CS. Just Smeb things. Kennen going to be banned away. This felt like ultra fallback Smeb, so I thought Kennen would be a good ban there, so I like that from MVP. Does mean the Gnar is very likely to be picked up by ADD.
I could just have that.
Cho'Gath also. Maybe just another Cho'Gath game here from MVP. They've already got initiation from Gragas and Varus. So I'm thinking maybe Cho'Gath now that I consider it again. Always worried that Smeb will say screw it Fiora, which is his old approach to situations like that. And
Yeah.
that would be far too risky for me. MVP,
Well,
do we see a
Alistar.
Cho'Gath?
The final ban.
GP's open. And
Maybe just want the GP in case Smeb is planning on taking the Gnar.
Smeb would have probably take the GP if it was up, and they're going to flash GP. They already saw what happened to GP in our first series. They're going to take the Gnar anyway. What do you do now? If you're Smeb, you could take Cho'Gath and just farm it out, but that would be very reliant on the Ashe Arrow. The GP into Gnar is a very obvious matchup to take, and they already have quite a lot of utility around the rest of their picks, so maybe just a calm time for Smeb to return to the GP.
This feels like a supreme bait after flashing it for him, but we'll just get picked up. Smeb going to be confident, and it's just going to be returned to the Sejuani here for Score. So more beefiness because they desperately need some.
Is it a Yondu special? He's last picked Amumu in recent memory. So, it could still be the Gragas support and a Yondu special. It could also be a counter pick support. It could also be the Vel'Koz into Morgana, because that's something that Max has done.
Oh, mid lane. Wait.
Yeah, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be the support counter pick Vel'Koz support.
Okay.
And a mid lane Varus coming out on the side of MVP. Very tricky. I only thought about that at the end because I said, okay, wait, it was Max who liked the Vel'Koz support into the Morgana support, you just basically can always outdamage Black Shield. However many points are put into it, they will do that. Does mean they are now also very much on the squishy side, and you remain with Varus mid lane. You go lethality, and you just try to outrange the Azir at every moment.
All right, so some tricky stuff here from the side of MVP, going back to their roots. This is what they were famous for when they first joined the LCK, was engineering these more interesting comps, Max especially, with the unique picks in the bottom lane. We've seen the Vel'Koz, we've seen the Brand coming up from him. Hell, we saw the Sion and got a Quadra kill. But
the issue is,
back out with this.
What if we see the Sejuani roll down bot lane and get summoners out of Max? Then he's going to have a real bad time. If he can just have a 2v2 laning phase with complete information on where score is, Vel'Koz is the lane counter, but just like everyone who's had the old Nidalee, AP Nidalee support in the past and some of these squishier champions, reason that tank supports are preferred most of the time is that you can be taken down again and again with relative normalcy when your summoners are on cooldown. So definitely going to be a target on the head of Max this game, and Deft and Mata, renowned for their laning phase. Vel'Koz may be good against Morgana support, but will that be enough to actually find advantages for MVP through bot lane?
Well, we'll have to find out. You already mentioned just having a gank roll in. If that happens post 6 and the barrage comes down from the GP up top, fully expecting the flash to have to be blown by the Vel'Koz, unless they can miraculously turn some things around. But MVP, this is the final match of the regular season. KT Rolster, one win here would give them first place for the first time. Can they pull it off? That's the question here, Papa Smithy. We're going to get the answers in just a moment as we load onto the Rift for game number 2. MVP looking to extend us to a game 3. We'll see if they can pull this one off, or if KT will be our regular season champions. Here we are for maybe the final time in the summer split before the playoffs roll through.
Smeb's Gangplank rolling out in this game. We already had a Gangplank steal away an Elder Dragon in our first series.
Okay.
That's a very nice picture there. And there's Beyond and his Trundle that has been trundling him many times. He has no victories on Trundle this season, does Yondu?
It's also been banned away in both of these games, so no opportunity to play it, and I think that MVP might be happy about it.
Yeah, 0-6, not the scoreline you're looking for on the Trundle. KT only looking for one scoreline, that's 2-0 against MVP to cement their status as the #1 ranked team. Little W there, Deft and Mata. Notice no leashing happening between these duos. The Vel'Koz and the Jhin were picked for lane, so wouldn't really make sense for them to give up any CS, and now the race to level 2 is on.
Let's see how they're going to manage the bot lane here. As we go ahead and kick things off, you call back over onto the Azir. Well, was a bit slow to some of the plays in game 1, but did have that nice double scoop come through right in the last fight, allowing them to get the ace and give Smith the quadra kill.
Yukal is also the only person to play Varus mid into Azir this season, an old Power of Evil special in the past, so he definitely has experience on the reverse end of this matchup. He's chosen to go for the barrier, the most selfish healing and shielding summoner available.
Yondu is on a ward.
He is,
Smeb
but
doesn't care.
Smeb won't resolve tree for once. Usually we see him go for the I don't give too many Mundos full offense GP and just get ganked repeatedly, but have his team do good things elsewhere. He's gone resolve tree, but he did start with the Sapphire Crystal, so bit of a bold start. Wants his Sheen as early as possible.
I mean, talk about Smeb. Bold. It's going to be in his name, basically, the way that he plays these top lanes.
We did have that Morgana lane. There was an Ashe to be able to put down reliable poke onto 2 members, so it does mean that Vel'Koz is going to be chugging the potions, 1 already down onto Max.
2 to go, try to get that finish. Score it with a roam up to the top side. Don't believe that he was spotted. Scuttle Crab, not enough vision. Getting ready to push
also
in. He should
exhausted.
know. He's going to have that double hop coming through. Flash comes down, charge in, should get the passive proc to lock him in. That's going to be first blood, but Score barely survives. keeps himself alive, and he'll go back to base.
To say that one was calculated is an understatement. He was waiting for the Triumph proc to actually arm. If it was any earlier, the turret shot, he would have died. Lives through it all. ADD will be frustrated. Kill credit goes to score.
Not going to be able to give that first blood over to Smeb to really fast-track the GP, but gets the assist. And now he should have a whale of a time in the top lane because the Sheen's already done.
So the gameplay in bot lane, whenever Mata doesn't have vision control over a brush, the Vel'Koz walks in, and Mata can't walk back in for fear of being exploded. It's going to be a lot more defensive there. Between Varus and Jhin, you got to say, this is almost Morgana's worst nightmare in terms of team comps, because both of them do line physical damage that doesn't interact well with the Black Shield, that usually is the trump card for the Morgana.
Snore just trying to get some harass down onto Ian, as he has a nice little lead so far in the CS department.
It's a good laning matchup for Ian, can harass the Azir from range. Kind of similar to how the Vel'Koz works. The Vel'Koz matchup is good because Azir tries to disengage with the ultimate, and then the Vel'Koz stands and delivers. Well, it turns out the Varus stands and delivers on a very short cooldown. With his Q max lethality build, that is a nice grasp trade onto ADD.
Yep. He is in a really rough spot, waiting for that transformation as he just tosses out these boomerangs one after the other, but if he has to get forced back to base again, no TP. Smeb pushing forward, boomerang not going to connect. Yondu in the brush. Gets the barrel in. He's going to go aggro. Dodges out onto the wall up, though, as he throws down the ward. Now sees Yondu. Wonderfully played by Smeb.
He has really, really good top laner sense. We know that we talked about how Tal was developing his top laner sense and had the first thought, but not the forethought, whereas Smeb has forethought. He is a fantastic top laner at playing around aggro. It should always be a case of top laner is why would they take that trade? And if it's a really dog trade, so a really bad one-sided trade, then it's like, that's suspicious. Yeah. And that's the sort of information you have to be able to intuit. Nicely done by Smeb. Gets a lot out of ADD. Doesn't cost him anything, and he backs away. Kilios, there's a disaster here, because they're going to lose so many minions. And consider when this game goes on, that KT once again will have Ashe Azir in the 4-1, the Morgana Black Shield. They have Engage in the 4-1, and GP could just straight up win the Gnar matchup. That's happened pretty frequently this season. Then kind of the whole map is vacant for MVP.
Yep. I'm not sure how many minions exactly ADD lost, but it took him a while just to pick up a single one. Was sitting at 31 for quite some time. Now has the wave moving back into the center, where Smeb has already returned the lane. He's got the Ruby Crystal in his inventory.
And Deft is definitely saying something about one more wave.
He's trying. Smattering of damage in on the pilot, but the roam down comes through from Yondu. That's going to be the flash in, looking for the knock-up. Deft actually into the wall. Mata taking the hit. Deadly Flourish comes down. The Morgana going to get locked in.
Watch Yondu.
There's no heal. Yondu's around the back. Can he get the double? We'll try to slow him up. Body Slam comes in. Drunken Rage gets the hit. Depth going to go down, and Mata will throw up the shield to try to desperately stay alive. The hit from the Vel'Koz not going to connect. Max, no mana. Yondu, can he get this for himself? Barrel comes down. In the meantime, we'll take a look at top lane, where ADD's in a bad spot. Oh, the Body Slam! Mata flashes out of it. Barrage thrown down. ADD trying to transform. 1 second away, passive proc comes through, the wallop not gonna connect. He'll push score back, he is just a sliver of HP. Ian's here, Chain of Corruption comes down, but the Bola comes in. Or the Mace rather, score finds the hit. Finally taking down the Gnar, but he's taking a lot of damage. But Ian will not progress further than that, cannot get the answering kill.
And Mata doesn't go down. How does he not die? Insane stuff on the bot side. Wish he could have focused on one of them, but the plays were everywhere. Insane that Mata will live from all of that. Should have been the world's freest 2-0 as, well, Yukal wants to kill.
Okay. Flash comes down from Ian, keeping himself safe. Good little pushover from Yukal, gets that summoner for free. But yeah, I kind of want to see a replay on the rest of this bot lane play, because Mata, I don't know how he survived. That was a juicy double kill for the side of Yondu. If that happens in your solo queue, that's when your Gragas just disconnects from the game.
He had both summoners up and yet had literally one auto's worth of health. From there, was able to disengage, was able to dance around, didn't even use his Ignite to dissuade a turret dive, just straight up outplayed Yondu. Big stuff there for KT to not give that goal to MVP bot lane. Speaking of bot lane,
that's going to be the Glacial Prison coming down. Max getting jumped on with nowhere to go. Depth is going to scoop up his first kill of the game. 1-1 here on the Ashe, now swinging his way into a CS lead.
And Score's having one of those games where everywhere he goes, ching, he says, he finds a third successful gank of the game. No kill this time, but it's onto the squishy Vel'Koz. He may have cleanse, but he has no beef behind him. Far from an Alistar in that way. He goes down, KT push up, and that sinking feeling for so many teams around the Rift, it might be felt here as I think it's just going to be a kill.
Yeah, it's Smeb pushing in, Feral coming down, chains it, ADD, gonna flash away, gets the hit with the boomerang, does slow up Smeb, will dissuade him from diving in solo, no barrage. So.
Are you not entertained, KT Rolster say to their fan base? They might be something else at this point.
That E word is safe to say, and I am certainly entertained, but
I mean, their happiness
MVP
has not been encroached. Their happiness should be running away with this game, so I don't know what the problem is. KT Rolster, very, very strong early game, not quite to the degree that they blew away Hanwha Life Esports in Game 2, but KT Rolster Game 2 is becoming a sign of the times in recent memory.
the good old summer buff working like it's never worked before.
Well, it just didn't work at all last year. Yeah. The problem for Score is that the summer buff is actually just him reaching finals that he lost. The only final that KT Rolster won was the Arrows in 2014, and if you're not a Korean League of Legends aficionado, and let's be real, most of us are not, that wasn't scoring the lineup.
Yeah.
That was, of course, Kakao in the jungle, and the AD carry was Arrow, now over at Optic Gaming.
How
So
the times have changed.
the times have changed. Score didn't get his victory. He's still looking for it all these years later. Score, the only player to have played in the OGN Invitational in 2012 February. If UCAL was watching him, he would have been about 10 years old at the time. 6.5 years ago, Score still desperate for that first title, and they're close to one, Achilles. Whatever happens, if it falls off a cliff, it falls off a cliff. This KT Rolster is leagues ahead of the KT Rolster of 2017. Deft is no longer making the unforced errors he was.
Yeah.
They're close. Doesn't mean they'll win, but damn, they're probably feeling.
I mean, Score has to be so hungry for it. Not having a title when Kakao does, it's got to be a bad feeling for him, given the current state of things.
Yes, Kakao actually, if MVP goes on to lose this game, will not play again in 2018, so he actually did not pick up a game victory for Jin.
Yep. They will avoid relegation. Stick around for a bit longer. But Infernal Dragon, first of the game, going to be started up in about 11 minutes here for KT. 3-1 at the moment, MVP. Contesting this just would basically be a death sentence. So,
Oh yeah,
not
they
gonna happen. Even
they
though
lost.
Mata's not playing the Thresh, but still.
They definitely lost voting rights on the Drakes for a while, with everyone so far behind. And Varus, while he's able to do well in the lane trades against the Azir, he's not as good at walking out of lane as the Azir. Azir can do so many things with his mobility on the shifting sands, and Varus needs a lot more time and predictability that's not there. The enemy team,
But can he run it down the lane?
you know, I don't want to talk about running it down anymore. As KT Rolster, what I'm focused on, no running it down for them.
Well, trying to hound down ADD at the moment.
Oh, well, they're gonna
Top
run
of
him.
the wall, they're just going to be pinching ADD.
Maybe
Double
they'll
hop to the side, however.
Maybe they'll run him down.
Try to.
This is nice moves from ADD.
Yeah. Barrel's coming through, trying to chain this in, but ADD just says thanks for the 10 gold, but now he's stuck underneath this tower versus 3. UCAL going in, lock up from the Glacial Prison. He played it about as good as he could have. It was a good attempt, ADD. Maybe if you had a flash, you could have made it out, but props to you for buying some time. Ian going to open up with some damage here onto the mid tower, but he does die in the end.
And AD has come back, of course, from his pneumothorax that collapsed lung and looked very good in the games he's played, but unfortunately that hasn't been enough to find match victories for MVP. On that huge losing streak, as we mentioned in the opening, they have lost 7 best-of-3s in a row and only picked up 3 game victories in that time. Looking like this will be an extension, unless they can find a way back into this game very fast.
I mean, they need KT to really flub something here. Some massive screw-up engagement.
There's been some insurance already taken out. Merc Treads from Ashe is a very safe pickup.
Arrow coming through, but even with the hitbox on that ult, still not going to find Pilot.
Well, you saw what that play was supposed to be, but
Yep.
unfortunately, as we outlined, Def not quite prey on the Ashe arrows.
And also now Smeb's going to be down as TP.
Yeah.
We'll have it, back before ADD because he had to actually full channel it back to lane, but it costs them even further than just the ultimate.
Turns out when you're up 2,000 gold, and your junglers pulled off all the successful ganks, you can afford to miss one of those ultimates.
But more than that is when things become worrisome.
Didn't want the fans to cheer too early, so it was zoning enthusiasm.
He's got to calm everybody down, you know.
He wants the fans to curb their enthusiasm, is what we're saying. Deft, just farming. Again, went Merc Treads to be respectful, so doesn't have Blade of Ruin King this early. 1,100 gold spent on the Mercs. Smeb still trading, but up in CS against the Gnar, and while he's not clapped to OGP, we know this lane phase has been very kind to him, and these trades, oh boy.
Yep, just chunking him out, pushing him back. Weaving that Gnar, that's going to be... Oh, the cask barely missing! The Black Shield would have been there anyway. Oh, no displacement to be had, but a poor sign for Yondu.
That was a really good time. It didn't miss. That was actually Twitch Black Shield.
Oh, was it?
Death.
I thought it was just out of range.
No, he twitched it. He twitched the Black Shield onto him really late. Very nicely done by Mata.
In that case, Mata, the god! Nails it!
That's right.
Had to make up for it.
Don't worry, on the VOD, we'll edit out the first call. We'll just sub that one, and that's how it works. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you know, it's ADR.
We'll get in there. Just talk to Riot. They'll definitely allow you to buff up your play-by-play with the post-match edit. Well, speaking of post-match edits, seems like Smeb's looking to edit out Gnar from the top lane. Going to take that top lane turret solo.
That buff taken away by Score. Tower going down. That's first brick for KT. Just basically getting everything at each twist and turn in the game.
Score's here, patrolling the mid lane. Varus has items. Ian has had an uninteractive laning phase against Azir and done the job of a Varus, but don't think it matters too much, if I'm being honest. Smeb is becoming a monster. We'll have the Trinity Force on the first back. Feels like if that arrow connected bot lane, that would have been another turret rolling down, but the turret for now going to remain healthy. KT looking for another way to stack their CC and call in their orbital strike with the GPO.
Holding it for now. KT with such control over this game. Maybe able to add another Infernal Dragon into their war chest here. 1 minute and 35 until that one spawns.
Yukal will be a bit sad about his items. He has no ability to get a fast Nashor, so you have to be respectful. Otherwise, every Q just does 1/3 of your life, and you just can't lane. Again, he played the other side of this matchup. Our only other mid lane Varus into Azir was Yukal.
Score is just trying to kill all of the things simultaneously here with the Scuttle Crab and the Rift Herald. Push up coming through. Pilot up to mid. Yondu will get the Scuttle, and the Rift Herald is going to have to be abandoned.
No reason to over-pursue onto objectives when you're this far ahead in the first 16 minutes. Pilot actually there to follow up on some engaged CC from Ian, but Yukal will pull away. Again, doesn't get one-shotted by the Varus. Let's watch the Q if it hits. No, does not, so we don't get to see how much damage it's doing post-Seeker's Arm Guard. Torrent's starting to fall low in the mid lane, and is Deft throwing up the Hawk Shot.
Just trying to keep tabs on Yondu. So far, he's got a kill, but otherwise hasn't been able to get too many ganks off.
Max is so damn squishy. He's gone tier just to have more lane presence, so he wants to be in a 2v2 as much as possible. But the tier not going to be helping him out in the trades 1 iota.
Shield coming down, not going to be getting popped at the moment. A Score tries to clear out the control ward. Yondu waiting over the wall, but will not be going through with a body slam.
Smeb stealing Raptors because Smeb thinks.
Yes, he absolutely can. He'll just roam down, zip his way back up the top lane, and then he'll start chunking down ADD again.
I think he might just go his best Jace impression build and go lethality here because seems like he
around the
almost
Rosie.
Ghostblade on the way.
He's going to hop out. Ooh, he's got it prepped. First hit comes down. ADD's down to half HP. Looking for a bit more. ADD says no, gets rid of the barrel, but it might not matter. Has to push him away as Ian roams up. I really love this just back and forth.
Uh-oh.
Looking for the pop-up. Score not going to get hit. Arctic Assault in onto the Yondu.
Outplayed that situation even better than he realizes.
Yeah.
He can't know how much he was supposed to die there.
Well, he survives. He's just trying to escort in. Reaction from Pilot flashes away. Barrage comes down, pushing MVP out from this tower. It's going to be a second one picked up by KT as they keep moving forward. 4,000 gold now in the lead at 18 minutes. And they might just be able to fall back and pick up that second Infernal now.
He's playing the structure game. 2 turrets down. Infernal to be picked up. Score goes to the spot where so many people have died this season, including this exact control ward.
Just dodges out on almost all of the abilities.
He's pretty good, you know? People were calling for Rush. They don't really call for Rush anymore. They're happy to see Old Man score. We see Rush in the back. He seems to be quite happy that his squad is winning.
Yeah.
Not a selfish player by any means.
He's here every day.
He gets to be front row seat to KT Rolster, going on quite the run. Achilles. The first round Robin dominated by Griffin, 8-1. If KT Rolster win this match by any scoreline, they will have gone 8-1 in terms of game score in the second round Robin, so they would have been able to emulate. They actually flipped around. They went 5-4 first round into 8-1. They did drop a game to Hanwha Life after Rift Rivals, but they are overall 8-2 if they win against MVP since Rift Rivals, which is a real hot streak. They only lost to Kingzone, the squad they've never really been able to beat. But otherwise, KT Rolster are in red-hot form. And you have to say, if they do win and confirm first place, it's well-deserved because it's always best when the recency, the second round Robin, the meta that the players are going to be played upon, the best performing team then, is the team that goes to the final.
Well, second dragon taken here by KT, so just going to be bumping up those stats 16%, which I'm sure ADD is just absolutely thrilled about, given how the trades have been going versus this Gangplank.
You keep saying trades. Are they trades?
It's just receiving.
Yeah.
They're gifts.
Yes.
Just little gifts of love.
He didn't ask for the... You can get uninvited gifts where,
Yeah.
like, oh, another gift, I didn't really want that.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunately what ADD is receiving. Happy little gifts.
I mean, we have another term for it. It's called, Smack Bucket Face.
Oh,
As
look
it-
at Max. He's
As
got
it goes
no
through
health.
again, Glacial Prison now thrown down on the Yondu. Hill body slam away, but can't get out of the arrow. Now has the flash. Retreats successfully back behind that tier 2 tower, but KT just keep up the pressure. 4-1. Gold lead continuing to stretch into the sky.
When the barrel accidentally kills the person he can't see, that's when things are going too far.
Happy little accidents.
I know Smeb well enough to know he's going to stack lethality because he went full lethality Jace the other day.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to stack lethality here. He went Youmuu's, which used to be standard on the GP. No one builds it anymore. Usually Storm Razor, but he just wants to pop Youmuu's and run at the Gnar. So, problem here for the side of MVP is that, okay, they're behind. That part we know. But the part compositionally that's the problem is now GP is smashing Gnar in the 1v1, and Azir, Ashe, Sejuani, Morgana is about as reliable as 4 as you could ask for. So while it's not a 1-3-1 comp that a lot of teams in Korea are biased towards recently, they can 1-3-1 with the Azir, and if they 4-1, it's basically can't lose territory for KT.
Yeah. Already 4v5 in the last game, so why not just do it again? Recall just going to be pushed up here into the top lane.
This could be a 0-0-0 game from Navaris.
Yeah, you know.
It's not a perfect game because 1 kill has been registered to Gragas. Shame on you, Death. But otherwise, everything has gone the way of KT. It's so easy to push up Ashe and Azir because both turrets, Morgana and Sejuani to catch initiation and disengage. And Smeb, if he's going to hit the barrels, it's going to be bad news for ADD. He's going to stop on the second lethality item for now.
Ashe arrow. Ooh, just hops right over it.
One thing left in this game is Deft hitting those Ashe arrows. Everything else going to plan for KT.
That's the one thing that's not quite working out perfectly well here for KT, but now pressure in, wave being escorted forward as they look for the wave. The rest of MVP trying to collapse in. Score plays up into the front line. Turn call going to be opened up. Glacial Prison comes down, but it connects onto ADD. They have no way of stopping Pilot. Score just takes a good amount of damage.
So you're pushing
They
in the
wall
mid
up
lane.
him, flashed away. Massive respect over there.
Yukal continuing his I don't need a minion wave. I'm just going to walk up to the turret.
And Corruption,
Oh,
he just
misses.
sidesteps it.
Need to hit those. Need to hit those. Don't know how many games recently Ian's played of the mid lane. Varus used to be a tempted Ian favorite, as here is the ult just to zone them away.
Yeah, Barrage coming down, no wave. Yondu gonna get locked up, and Smeb goes in deep. Offers up a lot of damage onto the Gragas. Can't kill him, but they will go ahead and take down that tower. Now it's 4-0. Getting ready to make it 5 as Yukal still sticks around. Drifts his way back. This guy is fearless when it comes down to knocking these things down.
And it's the guy who wasn't there last year. Yukal is the difference from the 2017 underperforming KT. He was only legally available to play by Riot rules the 30th of January this year when he turned 17 Western Age. Remember, he actually is only 17 and a half. That is how old he is. We talk about
Very young
Chovy, Chovy, the only player younger than Yukal. You have that amazing duo of Yukal and Score, where Yukal in interviews, confident beyond his years, talks about delivering that win to Score. His young. It is the biggest age gap there could possibly be because he is 17 and a half and Score is 26 and a half now. And it's all about the veteran and the young gun. But sometimes with the names off, with their play, it's hard to tell which one's which.
So used to being older than the players, and then I think I'm like, yeah, Score. Yeah, he is older than me. Got me beat. 26 soon though.
Will Score get that first title? That is one of the big stories, the fantastic run, as OGN is called this season. That would be one ending that a lot of people would see as a feel-good story. Only the opposition supporters, I'm sure, could begrudge him that. KT Rolster, can they win the regular season? Is it time to truly get enthused about KT? It's what a lot of people are wondering. They got 2 Infernals, they're 7,000 gold up. This would take extra levels of throw from KT to lose.
Yeah. Well, Pilot getting hounded down. ADD kind of hovering nearby. Score not going to assault over the wall. Get vision on the Jhin, but not going to find the follow-up. Right now, Yukal bringing the wave up top into that final standing inner turret.
What do you even do?
Tries to sit there, tries to contest with him. They have Yondu on the roam. They'll boop him in. Yukal pops the barrier, gets that Emperor's Divide in, and will take down the bars, but can he make it out of here with his life? Yondu going to be pushing back. Curtain Call opened up, looking for the hit. It's not going to find anything. Score goes into the back, tosses out the passive, gets the lockdown, and will dissuade them from following up with any more shots.
Azir had his flash up. Azir in close quarters, always going to do more than the Varus. They take him down. Here goes another turret. Again, those chances to truly enjoy KT Rolster's success coming online here. They're trying to siege down this inhibitor turret.
Working their way up. That's going to be the lock-in. Prison comes down onto Yondu. He body slams his way out of there. As Pilot is firing off with these shots, trying to chunk down the members of KT. Gets a decent bit of damage onto the Ashe, but Blade of the Rune King is there for depth. Can slowly sustain himself back up. In the meantime, Yukal is taking out this Mountain Drake, which would help them get further prepared for the Baron.
Yeah, not really convinced they need a Mountain Drake. There's nothing else easy to take on the map. They have 7,000 control wards in the enemy red buff. So they are feeling really good about this situation.
So Smeb still playing up in the brush, just waiting for somebody to walk in.
This game is almost impossible to lose for KT Rolster. There, I said it out loud. It is almost impossible to lose. They are so far ahead. Compositionally, they answer them. MVP have a similar comp, but they can't get the same value out of their Varus. They're getting out of their Azir. This would be so epic if KT couldn't win.
Yondu just trying to clear out the vision that he can. Mata just trying to give him as hard of a time as possible. So, KT, can you close it out? Is the question. It seems like a pretty resounding yes is going to be the answer.
I'm running out of E words I can use. I'm getting frustrated. I'm
Exquisite play.
Oh, I haven't said exquisite yet.
Yeah.
I'll work on that one. I don't have a dictionary open. I'm trying to think of the adjectives to use. I feel like I'm missing an obvious one that I haven't used yet.
Such an evocative performance.
There's a very obvious one I haven't used yet. I can't remember which one, but KT fans, stand up and cheer. Team is doing well. Score comes to Zona ADD. When do they start the Baron is really the last question we have left for KT.
Eloquent. Have you used Eloquent?
I would argue yes, without having to say the word.
Well, in the downtime, I'll see if I can come up with any new ones for you. But just going to be Vision Patrol here for KT as they try to get set to take that Baron. I mean, they have so much damage. The Ashe, the Azir, plus the Mountain Drake now in the mix.
They got damage, they got siege, they have initiation. They have literally everything set up. They also have control wards in the enemy red side jungle. However, Achilleos, the only way they can potentially even get slowed down is for the Baron to go the other way. So, KT, the final frontier, can you get the Baron that is set up to be picked up?
Well, ADD is pushing in the bottom lane at the moment, and he is exhausted, I think, so can't get excited. Yondu gonna get zoned back. Ashe Arrow comes down, gets the connection. The Baron goes over to KT. Curtain Call opened up, just trying to chunk out Smeb, but even the fourth, the final shot, only deals 330-something damage.
Baron easily picked up by KT.
They're poised.
No rage could be built up onto the Gnar. Couldn't get there, and thus they back away. You see the item that always heralds that the team thinks is going to end soon. Third item, Guardian Angel from the Ashe. That is the let's close the game. Let's close the regular season. Let's make KT Rolster, for the first time, our regular season champions. Control wards, as indicated by the observers, are at 9. Hype is at full stacks here for KT Rolster. Doesn't seem like the tiers are going to be necessary. Didn't even have to stack tiers this time, it turned out, for KT Rolster fans. Maybe the tiers will be kept for Samsung World Gymnasium, the 8th of September, when that grand final will be played. But for today, no tiers necessary.
I mean, tiers still kept for Max, as they're staring at, another promotion tournament that they have to re-qualify through to make it back into the LCK.
Very much looking that way. Again, you have to feel hard done by if you're an MVP fan. I think if they had ADD, they would have won at least one more series.
I agree. Or at least one more game that might have made a difference.
Unfortunately, that really did disrupt their momentum. Got that game victory against Afrika, but the Heimerdinger and the Mordekaiser top lane wasn't how they wanted to be playing out League of Legends. KT Rolster want to play this one out as simply as possible. Smeb is a roaming raid boss. They haven't broke the base just yet.
Violet taking a ton of damage. Arrow knocks him down. It's going to be the flash out from him. QSS has to be burned as well. Now KT can pretty much do just about whatever they want, including piling into the base and using his own QSS. But it's a push forward. Now onto the inhibitors. The tower falls. Yukal bringing up the top lane. At the same time,
the
his
damage
ADD
is just
takes
disgusting.
so much damage here on this Gnar. He can't do anything. 2 inhibitors going down simultaneously. The third getting ready to join is KT. Look to absolutely envelop the base of MVP. Pushing in, third inhibitor falls. KT, their first place ticket, getting it ready to be punched as MVP makes a final stand. The curtain call coming down, firing out shots, but it's barely scratching the surface. The paint on the KT roller coaster as they work their way in for the final push. The barrage coming down, minions cleared out. Smeb threatening everybody back to the fountain as he pushes fearlessly forward, chunking out the members. The Nexus now exposed. ADD goes forward, gets the pin in onto the wall. The beam comes down. They manage to find one, but Smeb goes in, gets rid of the Gnar. And KT Rolster, congratulations, you have finally done it. You've netted yourself a first place win here in the summer split. You're going all the way to the grand finals on September 8th to try to take the championship, to try to qualify for Worlds. MVP, they try to shut them down, but they just cannot do it here in Game 2. They're going to promotions, but for KT, it is nothing but pure elation.
KT get the huddle together. Finally, they're feeling these feelings they couldn't describe before. The fans have known it for so long. Excitement, excitement. They felt the excitement, but always been frustrated at the end. Always the tears followed the excitement. Today, the excitement is followed with a direct seed into the grand final. KT Rolster can sit back for a month. They will be playing against the winner of the gauntlet. Listen to their cheers, listen to the KT call. KT Rolster have never done it before, but today, they are your regular season champions.
There are tears, but it's tears of joy. Drafting coach said finally, so much pressure lifted off their shoulders here in this one moment. Close out the summer split, that's it, we're done. No more matches until the playoffs. And it's the one series where KT finally get that first place win. They'll be waiting in the grand final. Griffin cannot make it. They fall to second. Kingzone in third, Gen.G in fourth.
We'll get all that information on the screen for you afterwards. Again, spare a thought for MVP, who, through a very unlikely real-life situation and also the cruel hand of fate, have gone down to relegations. They will join BBQ Olivers at the bottom, but KT Rolster, these players who have been around for so long, who came together, took salary sacrifices to play together and win Worlds, but only ever made it to the LCK final, never even won in Korea, couldn't make it to Worlds last year. Now with circuit points, by the time they get their opponent, they may already be qualified for Worlds. It is not yet guaranteed. It is not yet locked in. But KT Rolster are the best team in Korea. They went 8-1 in the second round robin. They deserve all the plaudits. They can smile and wait. They have bought a short vacation before they have to get ready for that grand final. Smeb stares at the stat lines here of this victory. A lot to smile about for KT.
And in spring of 2017, KT played in the very same venue. They played in that Sensem Gymnasium against SK Telecom. It was an absolute stomp. They didn't stand a chance. This time, there's no SKT to be worried about.
But there is Kingzone, and Kingzone are looming. As we saw in our first series, Kingzone have the good matchup into KT as well. KT Rolster, just like they always needed a favor to get rid of SKT, would love to see another team take down Kingzone Dragon X on the way in the gauntlet in a best of 5. That remains to be seen. Can Griffin do it? Griffin now, of course, will finish second overall in the regular season. 4 teams with the same match score, only game score and head-to-head enough to gatekeep them out of top spot. KT Rolster going 2-0 against Griffin is the reason that they are rank 1 in Korea. Give this MVP to score. He's going to smile to the crowd. He is finally, once again, going to be battling for that title. It's been a long wait, and somehow it's that return to Incheon Samsan World Gymnasium. It was SKT 3, KT 0, 1.5 years ago in Champion Spring, as you alluded to, Achilles. How will it go 1.5 years later?
We're going to find out, but it's still going to take a while. Final, not until the 8th of September, so a ways away for that one to come in. And we'll finally go ahead and see how Mata escapes this, it would seem.
That's so much time to get excited about KT. That is so much time, Achilles.
Oh, yeah. It's going to build up. It's going to culminate.
Score will be going over to the Asian Games in between.
Finding
the rest of KT will stay together.
Flashes away, and I guess that's just the abandon. I thought maybe Yondu would keep progressing for that fight.
No way to chase that one down from there. And on the other side, at the same time, this was once again ADD going down. KT able to close out this game very comfortably. They haven't killed the memes yet. First in the regular season is a victory, but it's not the ultimate victory. The memes still live, but the memes are getting a little bit more ironic as we go on. Actually, I did feel excited about KT today because the team that took down Hanwha Life in just so decisive manner didn't remind me of the teams that you had to be worried about. It seems like the conditionals about KT are finally going to one side. And luckily, because we have now an MVP interview with everyone, we will get to talk to the entire squad of KT Rolster.
Yep. The baker who's been preparing the KT cakes all this time finally realized that razor blades are not an ingredient that should be included. So they get the sweet, sweet taste of victory this time around. And now we get to hear from them, hear their thoughts on finally qualifying for that first place finish for that grand final. KT, what a feeling this must be for this squad as everyone gets set up on stage. The fans finally starting to pay off. Their faith is being delivered upon with this victory. It all starts right here.
Just waiting for the players to, sit down, get comfortable. KT Joel will take us away with the translation very shortly.
Very true. I'm sure he's quite happy, so let's go ahead and hear from him. Joel, take it away. Close us out for the last day of the regular season.
I hate to say I told you so. Here we are. KT Rolster gained the game to victory was the only ending that was supposed to be happening, and we're going to be talking with the team themselves as we're going to talk with KT Rolster as they win in the regular season of the summer split. It's a dream-like ending to the story, and how does it feel, Smeb? Today's match was really tough, and I feel extremely happy right now. Do you feel like maybe the pressure was on you? I think psychologically all of us were really pressured in to really have that nervousness to overcome, and knowing that we had to get a 2-0 today. For that game one, that Jarvan was absolute surprise in the way that you pulled it off in the top lane, and did you play that aggressively on purpose? I mean, Jarvan, you have to be precise in the way that you make the initiation, but I think it's something that I definitely look out for my opportunities. And a lot of compliments were headed towards your way, and it feels as if KT Rolster, you're always the top contributor into getting those wins. You're the one that always kind of implemented my style into the KT Rolster team. I think right now, though, compared to the past, I feel like this style of the team fits me very well, and I think that's why it kind of just naturally flows like that. And now we do move over to score. It's not that far away. You're almost there. Of course, we have to wait until the final bell does ring, but you are on the brink of winning. It's my first time going to the finals directly, so I just don't know how this would feel, but it does feel pretty good. It feels like a teleport almost. And now you do have a little bit of space to breathe. Of course, do you feel like you're going to rest a little bit after today's games? I think if we did lose, we would have had less breaks. So I think we were trying to not plan a vacation, but I think we can kind of talk this over since we won today. Of course, they're really just a breathing room for KT roster as they can have all that time to prepare. But UCAL, really just a newer player out there, but showing so much confidence throughout the season and more so today. And talk about pressure being kind of shown by Smith, but you don't feel like you feel the pressure. I didn't really think of anything, to be honest, and now that we go to finals, it does feel good, but I just don't know how to feel though. I think I kind of just want to take a rest now. You really had just a blazing run all the way through, and NSCR was something of a champion that we always wanted to talk about because it never was a high win rate champion, especially in this meta, and we thought that maybe it wasn't the best mid champion to go with in this particular time and place. Of course, we had to go with obviously me doing the blind pick and them countering for my mid lane, and I knew the laning would be tough, but I had to just wait for that big team fight and try to get for the big plays, in which I did. And really just feels distanced away from this true emotion of actually winning, as you can see. And Def, do you feel happy, right? You look really happy right now. I think I'm plenty happy right now. He looks extremely happy, and now that you have kind of put together this team in order to win the LCK, and really now is a good start to the fact that this situation right now can get you guys go to this world, to the finals right away. After losing the first game, I believe, and whenever I came back from Rift Rivals and lost to Hana Life, and maybe we were thinking about maybe not even going to the playoffs, and we were kind of feeling pretty down. But we did lose one game, but after that, we won everything else, and now we're here. And really, after that one game of losing against Hana Life, you guys basically have won every single other game. And now, Mato, you have so much to talk with you about. Do you feel confidence right now? I think maybe the stages have felt a little bit lacking at times, but I've had definitely a situation where since we don't have SKT anymore, maybe we can win the LCK now. Of course, bad memories still lurks around the KT Roller House, and we're still looking at what this will mean for as a KT roster coming to this stage. And maybe you talk about an interesting point where you thought of maybe winning out the LCK. And of course, with these members out here, how do you feel about that? I think when we first came to this team trying to win the LCK, never was an easy feat, obviously, but throughout that journey there was a lot of interesting, fun things along the way, and I think that we're in this state that we want to definitely get in on this opportunity here. And now you are talking about the coaching staff just rushing in and just giving you guys congratulations all over, and maybe the players didn't tear up that much, but you saw the coach heavily in tears, as you can see from that screen. Were you not feeling pretty emotional about that situation? UCAL, how do you feel? I mean, we were just feeling happy, but he just kind of brought the emotions down, and he was tearing up, and I think I do see it as tears of joy, so I felt pretty good about that.
재승 코치님이 이제 원래 좀 감성적이시거든요.
I mean, he's very emotional guy, that coach. So
힘들었던 게
I know he went through tough times, and I think maybe he kind of reminiscing on those moments. And as the players are trying to show the stronger side, but I think he finally let out his true emotions there. We talk about the coach and the head coach as well, and everyone of the staff helping out and trying to make this KT roster a successful team. And now we're at this KT roster situation where you guys are finally getting to a phase where you feel proud of yourself.
저희 이제 오늘 플레이한 선수들도
I
굉장히
think
고생했지만
today's players have been incredibly well done, but the coaching staff have done incredibly well themselves to make sure this team stays intact, and we're going to try to definitely win the finals to make them feel proud.
좋은 거겠죠, 그게. 그리고 스코어 선수는
And we're getting to score, and now you're at this brink of going to the finals, and now you are going to the Asian Games as well. I have to mention that. You're incredibly busy, and now you're a possible chance of maybe winning a title 2 times in a matter of a month. And we do have the Asian Games, and perhaps it does feel great to get that first place of the regular season of LCK. And of course, I want to do well in the Asian Games to get the best result possible. And we're trying to go to the world stage as sooner and sooner we can. And it is going to be Incheon for most of those games. And UCal, I'm sure you want to contribute into becoming that best team in Korea. You want to show the confidence now?
예전부터 꿈꿔왔던 거기 때문에
I mean, it's something I've always dreamed of, and something that's always been numerically 2 for score. I want to flip that up to a 1 for this time. And we are slowly starting to conclude the interview, and maybe you want to say something to the fans out there. Deft, you want to say something? You want to say something, Mata?
말하는 동안에 생각해 보도록 하겠습니다.
Yeah, I guess Deft needs some time to think. Yeah, just give me a moment.
일단 특별하게 이제
Well, special thanks to
제가 이번 시즌
the head coach.
힘들었던 시간들이 있었는데
I know that it was a tough time for me, and the head coach personally helped me get through those tough times, and I want to take this time to say thank you.
박수 한번 쳐주세요. 마타 선수 이야기도 들어볼까요?
Mata, we want to hear from you as well.
일단 오창용 감독님,
We thank you all, the head coach and all the coaches and the staff, and it's because of your efforts that we were able to get to the finals today. And for all the office staff and for everyone affiliate of KT Roster, I think this time it is now KT Roster to show their true selves, and we will do that this time around. And for the players and the fans to reunite in this situation where KT Roster has looked the best that they've done since their biggest establishment, they're rebuilding, but now they're here on the golden ticket to go to the finals. And once again, I want to say I told you guys so, but once again, that's not the important thing. The important thing is that KT Roster is going to the finals, and it's an exciting moment, and sending it back to you guys.
Your bias is showing, Joel, but thank you very much for the translation to help us close out the regular split here. But KT, they get the win. They get the 2-0 that they desperately needed, and now they find themselves in the grand final in Incheon in about a month's time.
The twilight of his career, can Score finally pick up the big one that has eluded him for 6.5 years? Of course, in Korea, eventually the time comes for a player to go to the army, and so he only has so many opportunities remaining. Will Score ever get closer, Achilleos, than KT Roster winning the regular season because of head-to-head against Griffin? That means we have one hell of an amazing wildcard match through best of fives. Look at the teams. So much quality litters the top 5 of the LCK. Very notable that SK Telecom T1 finished with their first ever negative scoreline of 8 wins, 10 losses. They were 0 game score in spring. -4 is only good enough for 7th in summer. They will play in the Worlds qualifier, but they are the big org that misses out.
Yeah, for, Hanwha Life, for generic Green Wings, those guys not falling into promotions, not making it into the playoffs. So a long extended break for both of them. Just kind of sit back and assess, watch how everything else is going to unfold, watch and see if MVP and BBQ Olivers can earn their spot back into LCK.
And we will unfold the schedule with the teams updated very shortly. I imagine maybe we're just stalling for that to be fully built in terms of
Gotta
assets.
get those graphics
Get
done
those
and rendered,
logos. Yep, that's
you
right.
know?
Yep, that logo. No. That one. Here we go.
Okay.
So guys, on Sunday over at Spo TV Nexon Arena, Gen G versus Afrika. Should be a fantastic matchup to open things.
Absolutely.
The winner there goes on to face Kingzone Dragon X in the first best of 5. That's next Wednesday at the usual time. 5 p.m. Korean Standard Time. OGN will return with Griffin versus the winners of Kingzone Dragon X, if I'm guessing, versus Gen G. That's going to be a really competitive match. Remember that Gen G owns the head-to-head against Kingzone. That'll be a difficult victory for Kingzone to pick up.
Yep.
Kingzone will fancy their chances against KT in the final, but they will also have to get through a Griffin lineup that was able to beat them in the regular season. KT Rolster will wait 1 month from now on the 8th of September, a long time away. So we will have matches Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, and there is a very long break for the Asian games and come back for the final.
Yeah, long breaks. That's what it's all about for a lot of these guys. A lot of time to get prepared, a lot of time for me to sit back and watch. Guys, this is my last LCK broadcast of the year. Won't be able to join in for the playoffs or anything progressing forward, and it doesn't seem like any other extraneous events outside of that. So thank you guys so much for sticking with us through the LCK. You guys, you're what makes our job so great. We love to entertain you guys. We love to bring you the game. So thank you so much for joining us on all of these days. It's been a very short season, but a lot of League of Legends action. We love you. We'll see you next time.
No accusation, but you're the criminal. No implication, you're unpredictable. Time to lose See you later on in the fast lane, yeah. You run the system, but you're invisible. You're on a mission to take the city on.